Council and any guests, please rise at this time for a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll at this time?
Counselor Edwards?
Present.
Present. Counselor Letterman?
Present.
Present. Counselor Gomez?
Councilor Gomez, I believe you're muted.
Present.
Present. Counselor Allen?
Present.
Present. Counselor Curran?
Present.
Present. Counselor Whitfield?
Madam Clerk, I know she literally just joined us. Might want to just repeat.
Okay, I'll come back to Counselor Whitfield. Counselor Ramos?
Present.
Present. Counselor Brown? Absent. Counselor Walsh?
Present.
Present. Counselor Davila?
Present.
Present. Counselor Fenton?
Present.
Present. Counselor Hurst?
Present.
Present. Counselor Williams?
Present.
Present. Counselor Whitfield?
Present.
Present.
All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, at this time, can you please call the first item before us?
The first item on the agenda is a continued hearing. It's 809 Boston Road for an amended special permit.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilors, we have received an email from Phil Dromey by way of the petitioner for 809 Boston Road, which of course is the McDonald's location. They are not ready to proceed as it's been stated. So they are asking that this item be continued until the May meeting. Phil mentioned in the email that it is his understanding that McDonald's is still working with the abutter to address the issues raised. Phil, do you have anything else on that, or was that okay?
No, I just had heard from the engineering corporation that the headquarters for McDonald's was still trying to work out the issues. So they had asked that this be continued.
Okay. Well, then with that being said, at this time, I will just ask or entertain a motion from the council to continue this item.
So moved.
So moved.
All right, motion made by Councilor Whitfield, seconded by Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on continuing this item?
On continuing the item, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown? Absent. Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. The permit has been continued. Madam Clerk, I'm receiving just a message from Counselor Brown here, saying that he is trying to get on. Brendan, have you seen Counselor Brown trying to get on the meeting? Brendan, I'll just ask again, have you heard of Counselor Brown trying to join the meeting? All right, Brendan might have stepped away, so we'll continue with the meeting as is. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item before us?
The next item before the council is a special permit to operate a medical treatment facility at 281 Cottage Street.
All right, councilors, we have received an email from the petitioner asking that this item also be continued until the May meeting as well. If the petitioner is present, Are you still seeking this continuance? I'm not sure if the petitioner is on the call with us today.
I believe there is somebody here.
Susan, I believe, yeah, I think Susan is trying to speak. If you don't mind unmuting yourself, please. Thank you.
Yes, Susan Leach de Blasio. I'm here with my colleague, Christine DBA, and we represent Recovery Connection Centers of America. We had initially asked for a continuance because we had learned that there were some people who had submitted comments, and we wanted the opportunity to address them to show what a good neighbor our client could be. And then we learned this morning that our planner and zoning expert had a very severe reaction to her second COVID shot over the weekend and isn't able to be here this evening. And so we're asking for a continuance until the next meeting, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Blasio. Let's see here. Madam Clerk, can you please, I'm sorry, before we jump into this, can you please recognize Counselor Brown?
Counselor Brown,
Present.
present.
All right, Counselor Fenton, I see your hand up in the queue.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I think I became aware of this request for continuance, and as the members know, and I think Attorney de Blasio is aware, as a result of COVID and our Zoom protocols, we don't end the hearing in the first night that it's open. So no matter what testimony is received tonight, we would continue at the end. And if you're in a position to make some form of presentation tonight, I'd be inclined to hear that, particularly because we have some residents who are here and ready to speak, and notices have gone out. So do you think that you'd be able to do that?
We'll proceed if it's the council's pleasure that we do so. We would prefer to have a continuance so that we can address the concerns of neighbors and we can have a full hearing. Our planner was going to be our lead witness. And so while we do have a couple of other witnesses with us this evening, they were going to follow and amplify what the planner said. So the planner, because this is a special permit application and we have a very specific criteria to satisfy, and our planner intended to do that. And because she is not available to be here this evening, we felt that we would prefer to wait until we could lead off with the planner, because the other witnesses, again, are just going to amplify and complement what she says.
Well, it's not up to just me. I don't know if the counselors feel that a continuance should be granted, then so be it. But it seems to me like, because we're going to do the two hearings anyways, and your expert will have an opportunity to speak at our next meeting, whenever that's scheduled for. I'd like to hear from who's here tonight and see how far we can get, and then supplement it with what Ms. de Blasio can supplement with at the next hearing. That's my preference.
Thank you, Councilor Fenton. And on that, because this is a decision that will lay on the City Council, I will, if that's the case, Councilor Hurst. Before I get into that, Councilor Hurst, I'll give you the floor.
No, go ahead. Finish, Mr. President.
I was just going to say that I was going to entertain a motion to continue at the time and let a vote happen.
So that's what I was going to say. I was going to make a motion to continue. I think typically we've always asked the petitioners, or we always have obliged the request of the petitioners to continue. So I wouldn't force the issue. So I'll make a motion to continue this until next meeting.
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. A motion has been made by Councilor Hurst and seconded by Councilor Gomez. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on continuing this item as well?
On continuing the item, Counselor Edwards,
Just, can we say when we're continuing it till, please?
Good question. Oops.
Yeah, Madam Clerk, I will defer to you on the continuance date, the next hearings meeting.
our next hearings meeting, 1 second, let me grab the calendar, okay?
I think it's May 17th.
I believe it's May 17th too.
I think, yes, May 17th.
May 17th. All right.
Who are you waiting?
Please call the
On
roll.
the motion to continue to May 17th, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
No.
No. Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Davila?
No.
No. Counselor Fenton?
No.
No. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the
Yes.
permit hearing for this item will be continued until our May 17th meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much, counselors, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. de Blasio. Madam Clerk, can you please call the next item on the agenda?
The next item on the agenda is to amend an existing special permit for a change in petitioner at 87 Quincy Street.
All right, is there anyone present to speak to this special permit?
Yes, I am.
All right, Ms.
Mariana.
Yes, please, feel free. And please state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. So I am Mariana Ostapenko, but the company is M Power Capital, located at 12 Stagecoach Drive in Sudbury, Mass. 01776. So I purchased this property in August of 2020. I actually was not aware that it needed a special variance, unfortunately. The property was in pretty bad condition, and the contractor I'm using and his team are doing a full gut rehab. We did everything the right way. We had the building inspector out there. We had all the trades, plumbing, electrical. This was a pretty major rehab. The property was pretty much down to the studs. It had been vacant for a few years before I purchased it. So we are well into doing all the work. And like I said, it's been done the right way. Everything's been permitted, plumbing, electrical. We're redoing flooring, siding, new windows, you name it. We got delayed a few times because of COVID, unfortunately. So it's been taking a little longer. And then I found out probably about 2 months ago now that I'm not able to continue doing work until the special variance is granted, and that I'm quite honestly not exactly sure of the rules, but my understanding is because the property was vacant, it no longer abides by the current zoning rules. So now I have to get the special variance, which I filled out all the applications and went through the process. And I know that the person who owned the property before me had already had the special variance. As it turned out, I wish he would have shared that with me when I was purchasing it. But again, like I said, the property is already probably about 80% complete, and everything's been permitted and trades have been in there. So I'm hoping we can keep going with that and just restore the property. And it's looking much better already, and it's got a little bit more to go, but hopefully we can get some new tenants in there and start getting some occupied units.
All right, thank you, Ms. Ostapenko. Madam Clerk, I'll ask at this time, have we received any testimony for those that are in favor of the special permit?
We have not received any testimony.
Okay, and I will ask the same for any testimony in opposition of the special permit.
We have not received any testimony.
Moving forward, are there any questions from the council for the petitioner at this time? Councilor Walsh.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. What are your plans, Mariana, for the property? What are you hoping to accomplish there?
I'm going to be renting the property. So it's got 4 units, two bedrooms per unit. So I'm hoping to get 4 new tenants in there shortly. And like I said, the units are going to be really nice, good quality, very, very updated, all new. So I think it's going to make 4 families very happy, hopefully.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? Councilor Ramos.
Just curious, whether you own or manage any other properties in the city of Springfield?
I do right now, yes, 9 and 11 Ellsworth Street in Springfield.
Okay. And how are the conditions on those properties?
So I purchased that property almost 2 years ago now, and I did a pretty extensive rehab there as well. Not as extensive as Quincy, but a good amount of work was needed there. And I've got both units fully occupied, and everyone's happy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilor Ramos. Are there any other questions from councilors at this time? Any other questions from councilors at this time? All right, Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just good evening. Just to ask the proponent, I see that the planning department is recommending approval with conditions. Just making sure that you do know and you understand what the conditions are.
Can you tell me what the conditions are? Because I mean, obviously I know we have to finish rehabbing everything to code. That's my understanding.
You don't know what the conditions are?
I'm not sure I know. No.
If you don't mind, Councilor, Mariana, they were part of the package I sent to you from the analysis. There's a second page of the analysis that was sent to you, which outlines our proposed conditions. I'm happy to read them off if you want, but
if you could, please.
Okay.
Hold on one sec. The special permit is granted to this petitioner or its successor. Its successor or its assigns, and this was kind of an issue that we run across. Most special permits are issued to the petitioner only, and it's a little different situation when you have in this particular case, it's a 4-family unit that has been vacant for more than 2 years. So you're required to get a special permit prior to its reopening. As was indicated, this was done, but the previous special permit was issued to the petitioner only. So that's why Mariana is back in to amend it. And we understand after dealing with this in previous cases that this could be an issue with the selling of the property. So this is one of the few special permits where I'm kind of in favor of kind of issuing it to the petitioner or its successor or assigns, because it allows then the property to be resold once it's rehabbed and occupied. So unlike a car lot, which you can go and review back and make sure they're following the conditions. The conditions here are pretty standard. That the second condition would be that the special permit is granted solely for the renovation and reopening of the pre-existing non-conforming residential structure at 87 Quincy Street. This shall only be for a 4-unit building. Management information, including contact telephone number, shall be supplied to the police department and building department and shall be posted in the front of the building. The property shall be maintained graffiti-free. All areas shall be maintained and kept free of trash and debris. The public tree belt and sidewalk shall be maintained, including snow removal and mowing. All inspections shall be completed by the building department to verify that all work needing to be completed has been completed and ensure work is up to housing quality standards. And then the final condition is compliance with these conditions as well as any all zoning regulations is required. Failure to comply with these may result in the denial of the issuance of a building permit and or certificate of occupancy, revocation of the permit and or code punishment by code enforcement of up to $200 per day.
Very well. Just making sure you understand the conditions.
Yes, understood. Yes, I am very well aware of those. I was a little surprised. I thought you meant other conditions that I was not aware of, but yes, I'm fully aware of those and
Very
totally
well.
on board.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? Again, I will ask Councilor Hurst.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Phil, for adding that condition that this special permit will run with the land, which will allow the petitioner to resell it to someone who, knowing that they will be able to operate a 4-unit at this particular property. I think oftentimes people buy the property assuming that there are no conditions in place and that they don't even have to have a special permit, only to find out when they're well into the property that that is indeed required. And so I'd love to work with you, and I know Councilor Fenton. I also had a conversation with previously when I had a particular property come before the council, and we did it in a way in which the special permit ran with the land, which in my opinion is only right. And so to the extent that we can make an amendment to the zoning at some point in time or have that discussion, Phil, it probably makes sense so that folks don't run into this, because in the event the city council turns down this special permit, the petitioner bought it with the expectation that it would be a 4-family. And so it's would be extremely problematic and also costly for the petitioner in the event we didn't approve it. So something that we should look into. It's my fault that she even, that it's even in question, because I should have done it shortly after mine was approved. So with that said, thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Hurst. Are there any other questions from the council at this time? I will ask again, any last minute questions from the council at this time? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Asipunko, just so you know, we will move into our entertaining motion from the council to continue this matter, since we're using our bifurcated version of hearings meetings due to being virtual. So then your item will, if it passes, will be continued until May 3rd, which is our next regular meeting, since you've gone through the first process. So I just wanted to give you that information.
Okay.
So at this time, can I please entertain a motion from the council to continue this matter?
So moved.
So moved.
Right, motion made by Councilor Wash, seconded by Councilor Allen.
Is Ramos's hand up for a question?
Councilor Ramos, did you have a question?
No, that was up from earlier.
All right, I will lower it for you. Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll on continuing this special permit until the May 3rd meeting?
On continuing the item to May 3rd, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Letterman?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Gomez?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Ramos?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor
Yes.
Davila? Yes.
Yes.
Counselor Fenton?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Hurst?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Williams?
Yes, the special permit hearing will be continued until the May 3rd hearing, or I should say regular meeting. Madam Clerk, are there any other items before the council at this time?
There's no further business before the council.
All right, councilors and colleagues, it's been a short night, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. It's good seeing you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And
Good
thank
meeting.
you all.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Lord bless.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Night. Night, everybody. See you next Monday.